Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the Cleveland Browns versus Pittsburgh Steelers Week 17 matchup based on analytics. And this is going to be a very interesting game. Are the Browns going to be defeated? Are they going to be 0-16? Are the Steelers going to do some funny business and allow the Browns to get this W? Lots of things are going through my mind in this game, but I do think this is going to be kind of a very fun video to kind of discuss a couple of different topics here and there. Not really playoff related, but just because the Browns have been so bad and the Steelers have been one of the better teams in the NFL, that this is definitely one of those weird kind of games to kind of end the season off, if you will. Especially because of some of the stakes involved. You know, the Browns, no team wants to go defeated, period. I don't want to see a team go 0-16, but at the same time, the Steelers are such a strong football team that even if they do sit starters and do different stuff like that, it could still end up being, a Steelers victory. Even if they end up starting, different starters and stuff like that. And also because just how bad the Browns are in terms of the starters that they actually put on the field. But of course, if you're new to the channel, each week I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, there's always going to be some variation between various variables. However, there's always going to be little nuggets of truth that could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you are new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So, starting with this matchup between the Browns and the Steelers. When you look at the NFL stat basic comparison data, and basic comparison data essentially is the basics. It's looking at how the offense is doing, how the defense is doing, and of course how the special teams is doing. And when you look at all this information, the Steelers are pretty much favored it's a slaughter. I mean, there's no other way around it. The Steelers are just a very strong football team. They're one of the strongest football teams in the NFL currently, and they're going up against one of the weakest teams in the NFL, in the Browns, if not the weakest, arguably. Especially if they go 0-16, they'll definitely be viewed as the weakest. So, in this particular game, the reason why the Steelers are so heavily favored is because in most facets, they beat the Browns. The Steelers have better offensive data. They have a better turnover ratio. They don't turn the football over as much. They have a better sack percentage. They don't allow as many sacks. And they have a much better offensive score percentage, which is basically the ability to put points on the board compared to the Browns, who have been one of the worst in the NFL since 1998 when it comes to the ability to put points on the board. So again, Steelers are just heavily favored because of their offense, and of course heavily favored because of their defense. The Steelers have better defensive offensive score percentage, meaning they're able to prevent points more often. The Steelers have better turnover ratio, so they can create more turnovers. They have a better sack percentage, a very much better sack percentage in terms of the ability to create sacks, and of course a much better interception percentage. So all those areas do also favor the Steelers in many ways in terms of defensive data. And then, of course, you get to the special teams data, where the Steelers are favored in terms of punt return yardage. Kick return yardage favors the Browns. Defensive punt return yardage favors the Steelers. Defensive kick return yardage favors the Browns. Field goal percentage favors the Steelers. Extra point percentage favors the Browns. And punting average favors the Browns. In terms of who has the better special teams, it's clearly the Steelers. The Steelers have the better field goal percentage. Field goal percentage by far is one of the most important, if not the most important, special team statistics when it comes to predicting games. It's the most predictive. It's the most correlative. It just is what it is. You know, when you have a very good field goal percentage, you're able to win more football games. When you're able to hit 3 points more consistently, you put more points on the board essentially. So Steelers have better special teams data where it matters, better offensive data, and better defensive data. So, again, this is why they're so heavily favored in this game. and why it's pretty clear that a Steelers victory is very, very likely unless some funny business happens. Now, when you get to some other sort of data points, so now we're getting into some down and distance data, various split data, situational football, if you will, as Bill Belichick likes to put it. When you look at the Browns offense versus the Steelers defense when it comes to completion percentage, very clearly Steelers are favored here. First, second, and third down. The Browns have the worst second down completion percentage in the NFL currently and the worst third down completion percentage in the NFL currently. So not good. Not very good at all for the Browns in terms of completion percentage. Then, of course, you look at the Steelers offense versus Browns defense when it comes to completion percentage, and the Steelers have the better completion percentage compared to the Browns defense on first, second, and third down. Now, the weaknesses for the Steelers, as you can clearly see, come on second and third down, but even though those are weak spots, the Browns also have big weak spots in those downs and distances as well. So I wouldn't expect much of a fight from the Browns defense in this game when it comes to preventing completions. Then, of course, you get to rushing downs. This is basically the ability to convert first downs with the run. Has nothing to do with explosive plays or yardage. It just purely has to do with if it's first down and you're running the football, are you more likely to get a first down compared to other NFL teams? And based on all this data, the Browns are actually favored here. This is the one aspect of the Browns that has performed well this year is their rushing offense. Basically, their ability to get first downs with the run. But it hasn't exactly translated to much success, further proving the point that this is a passing league. And if you want to win football games, you want to be very, very proficient with the pass, period. Also, when you look at the Steelers offense versus Browns defense when it comes to rushing downs, the Browns defense is favored on second and third down. So in many ways, the Browns, if there was one aspect of the Browns that they've been doing fairly well at, it's been running the football with their offense and stopping them run with their defense. Those have been the two areas where the Browns have had a lot of, they've had success. They've been able to perform average to above average in some of these areas this year. So those are kind of the bright spots for the Browns, if you will, in terms of their season. And then, of course, when you get to passing downs, the Browns offense versus Steelers defense, very clearly, as you can see, the Steelers defense is heavily favored in terms of first, second, and third down. Then, of course, we look at the Steelers offense versus the Browns defense when it comes to passing downs. In this area, the Steelers are favored on first, second, and third down. So the Steelers, in many ways, again, are kind of heavily favored there in terms of those particular areas. Then, of course, you get the sack rate between the Browns offense and the Steelers defense, where it's going to be a slaughter, guys. There's no other way around it. The Steelers have the best first down sack rate and third down sack rate in the NFL currently, and the Browns just don't really face much. They just don't have much of a shot in this game. So very, very likely Steelers will get a lot of sacks. And then, of course, you get to the Steelers offense versus the Browns defense, where this is actually a little bit more evenly matched. The one area where the Browns have the upper hand is on third down slightly. Second down more so favors the Steelers, and then first down is more even. So I will say that much. I do think the Browns might have a bit of a little chess match in this game in terms of possibly getting some sacks. Then, of course, you get to interception ratio, where the Browns offense versus Steelers defense. And in this area, the Steelers defense is heavily favored on first, second, and third down. And also, the Browns have the worst second down interception ratio and third down interception ratio in the NFL currently. It's just not good times, to say the least, in terms of the Browns, in terms of turnovers. And then finally, we look at the Steelers offense versus Browns defense when it comes to interception ratio, where the Steelers are favored on first and second down, with third down being more of a toss-up there, based on the overall data and overall kind of implications. So overall, general thoughts and feelings about this game, I think it's going to be a Steelers victory. I don't think it's that surprising. I think the data just overwhelmingly favors them. This game reminds me a lot of when the Lions that were going to go defeated faced the Packers, and the Packers, I think, played Matt Flynn in that game, and Matt Flynn went off and had a big crazy game, and the Lions lost. that seems like this game. So even if the Steelers do sit some starters, the Steelers are just such a strong football team on defense and offense that I think even if they do sit people, I don't think that'll help the Browns out that much. I mean, I just think the Browns inevitably are more likely to go defeated than undefeated. So this is definitely a game where I think the cards are just not in their favor. And as much as I would like to see the Browns not go defeated, I don't want to see any team, again, go 0-16. I just think it's more likely that it will happen. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you believe is going to win this football game? And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.